What's up, Steeler Nation? We are back for another great week on the one and only The Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. I am Jay York Football. Alongside of me, as always, Mic'd Up Sports One. And man, a great guest today. Can't wait to get it. But first and foremost, how's everything going?
Everything's good. Feeling refreshed. We took last week off because of Memorial Day. Wanted to kick back and prep for, obviously, as we get closer to training camp. But it was a good week to take off. Really, not much has happened in Steelerland. We're all still waiting on the Aaron Rodgers ball to drop. Today, there's a rumor that Gabe Davis could potentially sign as he came to town. Steelers looking to add another receiver. So there's still a lot of smoke, but no fire, man. But we're happy to get back into it, no doubt. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just taking it one day at a time. It's finally summer weather here in Pittsburgh. 80, 85. We had a lot of spring-like weather, so it's the pools are opening and grass is being cut, and the Steelers are putting in that work now. This is when it matters. And our next guest that we're going to bring on has been putting in some work with some Steelers. So Juliana, let's get to it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy.
Aaron Smith shields. Flacco, Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
The sickest Pittsburgh Steelers podcast. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our guest today, he is a football genius, pass rush specialist, man. He's worked with some absolute legends. We're talking Jadeveon Clowney. We're talking Kayvon Thibodeau. And now we're talking the black and gold because he has certainly worked with them in a large capacity as well. We're excited to welcome in none other than our guy, Dez Walker. Dez, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Mike? Steeler Nation. How you doing?
Yeah.
Love it, man. Bringing the energy. We love to hear that. We need some energy in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a little bit. No, for sure.
So we're excited, man, to talk about some of the guys you've been working with. But first, I want to know a little bit about your football background and kind of how you got into this career. Give our listeners a little taste of how this came about.
Absolutely. So I'm Dez Walker, pass rush specialist. I work with any pass rushers in the front seven, linebackers, D tackle, edges, NFL, college, high school, all the way through it type deal. So what I'm doing is I teach guys how to get to the quarterback, how to focus on their vision, their hands, their get off, their hips, how to use every aspect to get a competitive advantage to destroy these offensive linemen. A little bit about my background, work with numerous guys at the NFL level, and I help guys get double-digit sacks. More about my background, a big mentor of mine going through my career was Chuck Smith. He was the pass rush coach of the Baltimore Ravens, and he schooled me up, taught me his system, mastered it, implemented it into my own. So now I'm helping the next generation of pass rushers get more sacks.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm curious, I'm assuming just like word of mouth, or maybe it was a relationship, but how did the connection with the Steelers start? Because I know it sounded like maybe Keanu Benton was one of the early guys you worked with.
For sure.
How did that connection start? Was that college or was that kind of just a reference?
No, absolutely. So Keanu Benton was me and Keanu, we super tight from Chicago. Helped him from his days to Wisconsin to destroying the Senior Bowl and getting to where he's at right now, really super tight. But even with that, I met Cam Heyward early in his career as Chuck and Cam got tight, and they worked together for years. And as obviously when Chuck goes off to gets his job, I just piggyback off of it and add the extra element. And I know how Cam likes to work his move, his hands, his angles, his steps that we work on a lot. And that was the big piggyback as far as, with me and Cam Heyward. But, I work with guys like Chris Wormley used to be a Steeler, back early in his career coming out of Michigan.
That's our friend. We did his show for 2 years. One of the best guys on and off the field ever, man. Wait till Chris is gonna love this episode.
Shout out Big Worm, man. Man. Guys like Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden was in AZ. Carried over to just different guys. Heck, Ogun Joby did some early work with Ogun Joby, but the Steelers just they're always been a part of the pass rush family, even though times come players coming in and out type
Yeah.
deal. So, a good line of Steeler guys. Last summer with Nick Herbig and Cam Heyward and Keanu all working together, that was great. And but yeah, that's a lot of the backgrounds up to it.
That's great. What just kind of talk about, a little bit about your playing background as well, and then we'll hop back in the Steelers, because this is also about you. I love to know, like, you kind of talked about how those connections happen, but just talk about your playing background.
Okay, absolutely. So I played at a small school called Sterling College. If you guys are familiar with Kansas, Wichita, probably about 45 minutes north of the middle of nowhere, USA. But when you got a passion and you're great at what you love at what you do as far as the art of just D-line, that was my big focus of like, all right, I'm great at where I'm at, but how can I help players at other levels type? So going back to my story with Chuck Smith, there was a time that I randomly looked up his schedule and I just pulled up on him like, hey, I want to learn under you. He was like, hey, I don't know you. You just came in my but nevertheless, left and right, develop a relationship. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna show you the ropes. Moved down to Atlanta from I was GA and coaching out of my alma mater, and then I decided to move to Atlanta and go more in the private sector of coaching. Through that, I've been helping different guys. The young guys get really good. Guys like Grady Jarrett are super early in his career, to helping him get to his prime with his first couple of Pro Bowls, and we're still working together as well. Got to work with Max Crosby. Then I worked with some of the pass rush players, pass rush participants at the Sack Summit with Von Miller, Cameron Jordan. I got hired in the USFL working with the New Jersey Generals as the head D-line coach. My DC was Ted Cottrell. If some of you guys don't know who Ted Cottrell was, he was Bruce Smith's coach back with the Bills back in the day as the DC, having the #1 defense. I've been around guys. Bud Dupree, another good example. Been working with Bud throughout his whole career, and his first ever 10-sack season was with the Steelers. And y'all seen the whole progress of Bud. You already know the Steelers. Hey, y'all don't play about your linebackers. Y'all already know. Y'all don't play about your outside linebackers.
Right.
But seriously, and that was a big deal with that. And then left and right, helping the next generation, got guys coming out from like Kyle Kennard, who was Defensive Player of the Year last year, and other guys, young guys like Dylan Stewart. That's a monster out. Y'all be aware, monster out in South Carolina. But yeah, that's a bit of my background, man. Been helping guys on the field, off the field, motivating guys, and I have a program down in North Atlanta where guys typically how it looks is they'll come for a week, 2 weeks. Some guys will stay for, and I help them become dominant pass rushers, and I prepare them for the season at head. And I get them right fast, because some of the times it's not just help. I'm so sorry, my phone keep going in and out with that.
Oh no, you're all right.
We got you.
But I help guys become dominant pass rushers by teaching them the moves, how to do it, when to do it, why they should do it. And like you get guys like Cam Heyward, heck, he knows when, how, but you just gotta keep him accountable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's how you keep getting great players better. Cause some guys, I'll get guys like, hey, I done had 10 sacks for 2 years in a row. But now my thing is, we got to get 10 sacks 3 years in a row, So it's always the next. It's almost like that Mamba mentality from a pass rush perspective.
that.
So, same deal with the college guys. All right, you're rated here per se. Well, now what can help us get the edge and, get over the top? So I'm the 1% coach. What can your 1 or 10% get you over the top? From building guys from scratch all the way from, helping them guys that's been Pro Bowls, all pros, already had double-digit sacks. Huge range of and I got hella stories to tell you, but those are my backgrounds of saying of how I would do it, how I get it done, both from pro level all the way to college level as well. But
I love that. I think the energy was just off the charts there. I'm an energy person. Mike can attest to this, so I think that's what
Man,
our viewers are gonna love us. Yeah.
Tear up and stuff.
that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Mike.
Let us
start
going.
Dez, kind of talk about, you kind of touched on Cam Heyward. I'm going to throw some names. Talk a little bit more in depth about Cam Heyward, Alex Highsmith, and when, we all seen, I know the Steelers posted that clip of you guys in the lab putting in the work. Just kind of talk about like what goes into these, sessions. Is it like specifics that you're working on? Is it like, you kind of just go in there and, critique and just try and help them get that 1% better. Just kind of talk about Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, who's been on the show, Alex Highsmith as well, and Cam, we all know and love. So
absolutely. For sure. So, all right. So let me tell you now, Cam is different. When me and Cam get together, the first thing I do that's unique, Cam, compared to anybody else that I work with or the clients, we start off the day. I work out with Cam. Now I can't keep up. So don't that's the little I can't keep up. He'll call me right now. Dez, don't be. But we start off the day, man. We start off Cole, who's his performance coach, does a great job out in Wexford area. Wexford area type deal.
Yeah.
So we start off the day, whether it's lower body, upper body. I'm involved in working out with him. But specifically, after that aspect, and when he does his lifting, he'll do a little bit of running, and then he'll get into the pass rush. So when we're going to his pass rush, we're specifically working on the details of how he wants to do the move, when he wants to do it, and the steps. If I had to inform the audience about pass rush, when you're a great player, you have your bread and butter. Let's say when you think of Dwight Freeney, you think of the spin move. You know what I'm saying? When you think of Vaughn, you think of the ghost, Aaron Donald cross chop. So no different in Cam. Cam has a bread and butter as well, and I don't want to tell the secrets, but he has a bread and butter from a standpoint that was made him great and become a great pass rusher throughout his whole career. So as we focus on the bread and butter, we'll talk about the details of, okay, hey, we might want to hit it off of this amount of steps or more steps, less steps. Let's say, okay, you're a player, right? They've been blocking their D tackles this way throughout the whole season when they go against, since they did the first 3 games. Hey, you already know, Cam, when they go against you, they're going to block you different. Why? You got one of the best bull rush of all time. You know what I mean? So, we got to understand that, hey, you're gold jacket walking. Now we got to take time so where we can get a competitive advantage, whether it's us in our get off, whether it's us having our hands ready early, or whether you create confusion with your knowledge and your alignment. So, we're very details. Big on hands, usually when we start off the week, we would start off with think of it being at a gun range. Okay, let me practice with my my 9mm. Let me practice with my 22. Let me practice with my SCAR. Let me practice with my my rifle. Just from the standpoint of it's different situations for different moves. If I had to educate the audience on that, so we'll go over that. We might say, hey, we're nose today. Hey, we're just a 3 tech today. Hey, we're the 5 tech today, and then towards the end of the week, we kind of bring it all together. So I might throw a game-like situation. And honestly, I promise you, with Cam Heyward, his training is way harder than his game. Like I told you, he's going to lift, and I try to keep up. And then he'll do something with Cole, and that's a bad dude. Cole, after that, there'll be times where he'll run, and then we'll get into pass rush. So, his days are 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours of just grind and work, and super details on it. No wasted movement. No, how no mulligans. You guys golf, so we're not do that again. Do that again. No, we're gonna be we're gonna be precise. We're gonna look at that cell phone. Oh, let's fix this, fix that. Bet 3 reps, 2 reps. Be precise and let's be consistent. So,
I love it, man. I don't need a cup of coffee if I be around you, man. You got, like I said, you got me fired up. You're like walking a cup of coffee, boss. I absolutely love it.
You know what we're gonna have to do, Mike? We're gonna have to bring the lad to the Steelers Crazy Show. We're gonna have to bring the lad to the podcast. We're gonna put you through some hand drills, man.
George always says, man, he would jump on special teams in a heartbeat. He's got
okay.
Physical skill set, but we have heart. So
true.
Make one tackle as a gunner out there, and you never.
Okay, yeah. Hey, but nowadays you gotta be careful how you hit these guys at the gunner. You could tear somebody up. Hey, now you gotta, man. That's another show.
I don't know if you ever saw that episode of Jackass where Johnny Knoxville tries to return a punt with nobody.
For sure. Okay, no. Jackass was the ish, man. That was
I definitely missed it. I guess my question.
For sure.
Oh, go ahead.
And Highsmith. Okay, Highsmith.
Yeah, touch on him.
Let's get into Highsmith. First of all, love Highsmith, great dude, great person, always wants to get better. And that's the good thing about working with the Steelers. Everybody's always in a different point in their career. So everybody got different roles, but the same goal. Does that make sense? Like we're just
Mhm.
all trying to get with more sacks type deal. And I'm excited for Highsmith this year, especially, last year he was a bit hurt, right? And as he's coming back from it, you got new motivation. When we got new motivation, that leads to a lot of sacks type deal. But one thing Highsmith, me and Highsmith we started working together real close with COVID, was 2020, 2021. Same type vibe coming up here, working with guys, Big Worm, Heisman. And Heisman from a mile away, myself and Chuck, we saw that he would be a great pass rusher right away type deal. That's great movement, super quick, super precise, super just he just loved the game. Cam loves the game, don't get me wrong. But Highsmith loved the game as well. And as he's focusing on his techniques, he always want to find like a step ahead to help himself with whether it was his hands or whether it's set up his bread and butter as well. Highsmith has a great spin move. You getting this guy seen him get sacked forever with his spin move type deal and his great movement. But he is also like they work together well. I want to compare it. Like there was a time where I used to go to Tampa Bay all the time to work with some of the Tampa Bay defensive linemen. And like with Tampa Bay defensive linemen, they just got off the Super Bowl. And like sometimes when you keep teams together and you see how well people who have success work together, you'll be like, oh dang, I see why they have success. I see why guys like Denzel, the outside linebacker coach, helped them guys get a bunch of sacks throughout the season. Like because one, they love each other, they like each other. Whether you're moving guys in and out, it's a good locker room. As far Steelers has always been known as a defensive team, and and guys even going with guys with he just retired like a couple of years ago, played right next to Cam Heyward. Him and Cam had double-digit sacks at the same time. Notre Dame.
Stephon Tuitt.
Tough on
Stephon
Stewart,
Tuitt,
yeah.
like guys like generally like, there's been times where like alumni will pull up to sessions where I'm training because why? They like each other type deal. And that, you're not trying to stir the story away from Highsmith, but I can see that like, hey, we all gotta eat. It's not like, hey, let me get all this work, this pass rush work behind y'all back. I'm gonna get the sacks. It's like, no, if we can all rush together, we got the same goal. So, Highsmith is great, man. Really focus on his technique and super motivating. Sometimes it's times when we're doing like handwork. When I'm doing handwork with Highsmith, and I didn't win 3 or 4 in a row, and I got another player to go. He like, there's no break. Come on. I said, man, you got me messed up trying to challenge me. So he'll challenge you as a coach from a standpoint when he's amped up, he's motivated. It's always a good time. Nick is man, you guys got a deep room, man. For these last years, I think wow, like Nick is gonna be great. Nick is gonna be great, smooth, loves to rush. That dude is a pass rush fiend. Like, like that's what he wants to do, and that's what he's there for. And him and Highsmith, and obviously with TJ, it's a good. You guys got a rotation that a lot of teams would wish they had. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put these teams out, but you got teams out there that's still trying to figure out, okay, if this person go down, this person go down, who's gonna step up? So you guys are in a great spot. But and Keanu, my dog, been knowing him since young guy in college, and he still hasn't hit his peak yet as well. So Herman, D Herm. So let me tell you something about D Herm. Was really locked in with D Herm early in his career, specifically in high school. He's from Detroit. Originally I'm from Detroit as well. So I used to come up there throughout his high school time and see him. And when I saw Herm, I was like, hey man, that guy could be an NFL player. And you know how some of these high school guys are. They're like, hey, you're a big dude, go to O-line. I'm like, no, you stay on D-line, you a dog. So, but I like the whole build of coming together with the Steelers organization. And the Steelers always been pass rush family, man.
No doubt. We're excited to watch Derrick, man. He's a great kid.
For sure.
And man, his tape is absolutely insane. So we're excited to watch him, no doubt. It's funny, Jordan. I'm thinking about Chris Wormley. We had him on every single week for 2 years. And what Jordan and I thought all the time was, how can this dude be an NFL defensive lineman and a menace out there. He is way too nice.
Oh yeah, worm nice, dog.
He
Worm nice.
was, dude.
Nicest human of all time. Like,
Did his live show, and he was just like, I mean, like he was like, people were like rushing him for autographs and everything, and he's just sitting there, just cool, calm, and collective. Like he's a class act. It was very good, and that was like kind of the start of our whole thing, and it's just we've been very fortunate to have a lot of great guys on. Jalen Warren, Sean Elliott, so. Yeah, and we're very fortunate to add you to the list. We'll definitely have to have you on, and if you're ever in Pittsburgh, definitely dinner's on us. So
let's do it, man. Let's do it. I did go to a dinner spot that was fire. It was a steakhouse out in like Wexford area.
What is it called? I know. I went there too, and that's a shame. I can't remember the name.
I forgot the name of it. That Wagyu was nice. You said what? I'm sorry, Mike.
They're not a sponsor, so don't feel bad.
Oh, okay, my bad. I got you. He said no free pub. No free.
Napa.
Okay. Absolutely.
Walnut Grill off the hook?
No. I know what he's talking about because I went there. That's the one night I was there. Literally, Charlie Batch and James Harrison were eating.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Yeah, but I know there's a lot. But anyways, we're really fortunate to have you on. Keep up the good work. I do have a question to ask. So on Sundays, like, do you just sit there and watch, and every time one of your guys that you work with get a sack, you're like, I'm sure that's a good feeling to kind of be like, like, hey, I contribute to this success, and I think that I'm a personal trainer myself, and I just think that that's the biggest thing is just seeing people's success and knowing that you're. That's what makes the world go round, and I'm sure that that's really rewarding to see, especially on Sundays and at that caliber. I mean, you're naming off guys like, Max Crosby, like it's nothing, like, it just shows you, where it could get you and your work ethic. So very fortunate to have you on the show. I'm glad you're a part of the family now.
For sure, man. We like you guys part of the family too. Now y'all pass rush family. So when you see them guys, hey, pass rush family. We
might have to get T-shirts made.
Okay,
Samurai sack.
Let's do it. Now appreciate you guys from having me and going back to what you saying, Jay. Man, helping guys and getting the sacks. Obviously I'm excited for it, but when you got somebody that's got a goal, you know what I mean. That's the part where I'm like. All right, we gonna help you get sacks. You're gonna hit the quarterback. I ain't worried about that. But in order for you to get the goal, you gotta have a discipline throughout a period of time. So, like, especially with Cam last year coming back, hey man, I got hurt. They think I'm, whatever. He was ready. Just know he gonna be ready this season too. But from that standpoint is I want to show him the best. I gotta lock in through a period of time because the guys that don't lock in through the period of time, that's that 1% that separates me. And same thing with you when you're transforming these guys' bodies and whether they got the bod dad or they got they ripped up, but they want to look like Hercules. You know what I'm saying? It's always that, whether it's consistency or whether it's how you work. So absolutely.
The biggest thing, name of the game.
Name of the game.
Yeah. Really great stuff. I know our viewers are going to love this. We'll have some clips out throughout the week and be sure to share them with you.
For sure.
Keep up the good work. We really appreciate you. I know that our fans are really going to enjoy this, viewers. Thank you, Dez.
No problem at all. And I'll let you guys know when I'm back in Pittsburgh, okay?
Sounds good.
For sure. All right, Mike. All right, Jay.
Take it easy. Yep.
I think we're going to have some viewers, if they're just like chilling on their couch on a rainy day and they don't want to go
to run through a ball.
Well, I think they're like talking themselves out of going to the gym or something. Like, I'll get there tomorrow. I think they're going to watch this episode and they're going to jump up off that couch, get in their car, drive to the gym, and get a pump in after just from watching that. It makes
listen, I like to consider myself a super high energy. I got a lot of catching up to do with Dez, man, and I think that's, it just goes to show you how serious. I mean, we all know, they're professional athletes, but like to, do that. You heard him say, about Cam Heyward, 3-4 hours, when they're together for a week straight, just in the lab working. It's really cool to, hear that about, Harmon as well and Highsmith. We all know this, but when you have someone who's actually in the room working with them, and really helping them get that 1% better. It just goes a long way just to validate that. That was a really good episode. Just
No doubt.
The energy was great. We needed that. It was a nice switch up from, the Aaron Rodgers talk, and it's kind of, right now it's just like drifting by in Steeler land. So hopefully this brings some energy and we'll make for some great clips for this week. So yeah, we're fortunate to have you guys along with us for the ride. This has been another great episode of the Sick Podcast Steeler Crazy. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Here we go, baby. Juliana, take it from here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.